It was the move of the offseason around the NFL. The Broncos trading for Russell Wilson, the 9-time Pro Bowler from Seattle. He's here to save the Broncos, right? That's what it certainly feels like all around Denver, and we're excited to break it down. Can he live up to those expectations? Welcome into the studio for another edition of Countdown to Camp. I am Phil Milani alongside Jones and Aric DiLalla. Guys, there's a feeling around here that Russell Wilson's just going to make everything work. Everything's going to be fine. The Broncos haven't made the playoffs in 6 years. No more problems. So Russell Wilson is here. Can he live up to these impossibly high expectations?
I think he can, Phil. I certainly think he can. Like you mentioned, he's brought energy, excitement, optimism back to the city, something our fan base was really yearning for. And, when you look at Russell Wilson when he's been healthy, he can easily throw for 400 or 4,000 plus yards. 30 plus touchdowns. Look at the weapons he has at his disposal here. We've talked about these on some of the other Countdown to Camp shows that we've done. He has so many weapons at his disposal. I think he can honestly surpass some of those stats that he's had in the past. So yes, I do think so. And I think all of Broncos country is excited to see him do that in orange and blue.
He's put up huge numbers over the course of his career. But I think the one thing that really stands out to me, Aric, is his winning. He's just a winner. 8 double-digit win seasons out of his 10-year career. Will that continue here, Aric?
Yeah, I think so. And you're right. Winning is what he does best. It's not always, throwing for 5 or 6 touchdowns in a game. I don't know if it's going to be the statistical revelation that Peyton Manning was in Denver, especially in like 2013. But what Russell Wilson does is win. When you count the postseason, he has more wins than any other quarterback through the first 10 years of his career. One more than Peyton Manning, who is obviously, you know that name? So it depends kind of what your expectations are, but the winning will go with it. And, do you expect him to win MVP? I don't know if that's realistic in year one. Aaron Rodgers didn't do that in year one of Matt LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett's system. But if you're looking for a guy to throw 35 touchdowns, stay under 10 interceptions, go over 4,000 yards, Russ can do that here in year one.
Russ, taking a look at some of his stats here from the last couple of years, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions a year ago. Statistically, not the best season of his career, but he did miss a couple of games. The first time in his entire career that he missed a game. But you look at the years before that, 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions in 2020, 2019, 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2018, 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Sydney, it's kind of like you mentioned. He's consistently in the mid-30s there, under 10 interceptions.
Right, and I do think, yes, he is with a new team now. Yes, he does have to learn a new offensive system, but he is consistent, like you just said. And I think it doesn't matter what team he's on, he's going to make those stats happen.
And one of the reasons maybe he didn't want to stay in Seattle, or there was a conflict there, was the style of offense. A differing of opinion there. Now we've heard they're putting sort of a NASA offense, something scientists are working on here. It's Russell Wilson's offense. It's Nathaniel Hackett's offense. Do you think, Aric, he's got something to prove here in his first year in Denver?
Well, I think it's more than just having something to prove. It's the type of offense he wants to play. They want to go out and they want to throw the dang ball. And in this division,
throw that dang thing.
Yeah. In this division, you're going to have to do that because you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you're playing Justin Herbert, you're playing Derek Carr. These are going to be high-scoring games. I don't think it's going to work to just go out and kind of grind the ball, run it 30 times a game. He's going to be throwing the football, and so it gives him a chance to show, hey, I'm still a really good quarterback. Maybe there's a little bit of him wanting to say that Seattle made a mistake to let him go, to not choose him to stay in Seattle. It's going to be tough for him to earn some of these accolades. Like, you talk about being a Pro Bowler in the AFC. You've got Mahomes, you've got Josh Allen, Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and they only take 3 of them. So he could have a really remarkable year and still not make the Pro Bowl. But I think what you think about with Russell Wilson, again, going back to the winning, there's going to be times when it looks like things are lost for the Broncos.
Grim.
Yeah, things are grim, and he's going to lead them back. Each year, somewhere between 3, 4, 5 game-winning drives, I would expect a lot of last-second heroics here in Mile High.
I think that he's got a rejuvenated sense about him here. Certainly changed the atmosphere in the building. You can feel everybody's, the tide has raised all boats.
The Tide did something.
The Tide did something, and it's good. I think that's what we want to say. But you can certainly feel it here in the building, around town. There's excitement for the Broncos to get back to where they've been. And so many times the last couple of years, it's been defense, running the football, see if this offense can get things going. But guys, with camp just 1 week away now, the big question is it enough? Will the Broncos make the playoffs? That's what we'll answer on our final episode of Countdown to Camp. Until then, for Aric DiLalla and Sydney Jones, I'm Phil Milani.